You're next. Alors dis-moi André. Oh. Ouais, vas-y. Go ahead.
All right, come on up. You're the guest of honor. Bienvenue.
These are the guests of honor.
That's right. They are the guests of honor. Monsieur Gauvin, si tu veux nous joindre en avant, c'est à vous. This is the Imaginary program. Minister Cardi, Minister of Education, Ministre Gauvin, Ministre du Tourisme, de la francophonie, puis Premier ministre? Vice-Premier ministre, okay.
Deputy Premier.
Deputy Premier and the Premier Hicks. We're so glad you're able to join us today. Really, this morning's about hearing from the youth. They prepared some messages for you. Talk about what their experience has been in the province, what inspires them about New Brunswick. Pour commencer, je veux juste souligner que la diversité, c'est notre force et notre futur pour la province. This is a room full of future leaders, and I'll tell you the story behind Imagine NB was that we had two main goals. We wanted to empower a diverse young talent from across the province to play leadership roles in the future. We also wanted to introduce our New Brunswick leaders to some of the future leaders of tomorrow, and who have not necessarily wasn't their first home, New Brunswick, but it is now their home. And so with that, we have some people that are going to share some messages. Je vais passer la parole. C'est qui va commencer? Ruth? All right. You,
yeah. Just before you all start, I'll just put the mic on you, if that's okay. Hello.
Hello, Ruth.
My name is Ruth. I'm originally from Togo. I've been living in Moncton for about 5 years. Here in Imagine NB, we believe that New Brunswick should be a more multicultural province. We plan to do that with more programs like Imagine NB, where youth can feel more included in the community. We can aspire to grow together and have a good day.
Hey everyone, my name is Amir Al-Samar. I'm from Syria and I live in Moncton, New Brunswick. And we imagine to have a multicultural New Brunswick. And we imagine to have multicultural businesses where we can live our culture and where we can have more culture. And I just want to mention something that in Moncton that we have a small store. This store has a lot of things from my culture, which is that's really nice, makes me happy when I go there, makes me feel like I'm home. And I think like that would be nice if we get more of that. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry. I know.
Alors, je m'appelle Shekina Lutombe, je viens du Burundi et maintenant je suis à Fredericton, puis je fréquente à l'école Sainte-Anne. En 12e année, j'espère être à l'université de Moncton l'année prochaine. Puis pour commencer, je vais partager avec vous les défis que les jeunes rencontrent ici quand ils arrivent comme délégués. Premièrement, il y a le problème des langues, qui est devenu de plus en plus difficile pour eux pour partager avec les membres de leur communauté. Pour les ambitions, la communauté doit comprendre l'aspiration des jeunes et prendre en compte leurs projets. Puis pour notre souhait, on veut vraiment changer la communauté et avoir la région plus multiculturelle pour partager notre point. Merci beaucoup.
I'm Charmaine, and originally coming from the Philippines. And in Imagine NB, we come across many social issues across New Brunswick. And one of these issues that resonate with me and my experiences is how diversity can impact our society, and more importantly, how we can benefit from it from creating an inclusive environment. And so I wanted to do a community project about this. Through creating podcasts where I invite Canadian-born youth and immigrant students to share their experiences and stories. And from this project, I hope to send a message of the importance of understanding and accepting the difference among others. And all of the Imagine NB delegates here are managing their own community projects, tackling different issues that they would like to portray. And as immigrant leaders, we are passionate about strengthening our communities. Thank you.
Well, my name is Aisha, and I'm originally from Pakistan. I've been in Canada for 4 years, and I live in St. John. And I would like to share today with you about my community project, which is called Voice of New Brunswick. The reason is Voice of New Brunswick is full of stories and hopes of Canadians, Canadian-born in Canada, and immigrants and refugees of future New Brunswick. And I would like to, I believe that it's very important to understand each other for future New Brunswick. And yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello.
Hi, so my name is Dr. Salinda. I'm from Uganda. I'm very good here. I've lived here for about 5 years. And through those 5 years, I've experienced ups and downs and experienced staircases. And one of those things being is the things that I experienced through my 5 years staying here is feeling of loss, feeling of uncomfortable, feeling divided from families, feeling like I don't believe in myself. And in those 5 years, I went to my teachers, all my elders, looking at them in the eyes, being like, I'm trying to be respectful, trying to learn about their culture. Little did I know that if you want to speak to somebody here in Canada, you have to look them directly in the eyes, and you have to talk to them like you're important person. But in my culture, it's shown a sign of disrespectful, and it's shown a sign of that you're trying to be bigger than them, or you're seeing them as unimportant. So when you come to somebody who's an elder, you look away and bend down because I'm a woman. If it's a man, you wouldn't bend down, and you wouldn't look them directly in the eyes unless it's for 1 second. And then when I felt that, and I went through that good times until I met Ariane, and she introduced to us Imagine NB. And Imagine NB has told me to feel confident, has told me to be a great leader, has told me to be a better person of myself, and now I believe that I can make a difference in the future. So thank you, Imagine NB, and thank you all.
Wow.
Hi, my name is Kelly, and I'm originally from China. I currently live in Brunswick. So I wanted to share a little bit about my experience as immigrant youth. So my family started our own business 2 years ago, and one of the main challenges that we face is language barrier. So due to my parents' insufficient English skills, I take on the role as a translator during meetings and management. And through Imagine NB and meeting other youths, I realized I'm not alone, as many other youth take on the same responsibilities, and this can put a lot of pressure onto their shoulders, as language barriers is one of the major challenges that immigrants have to overcome.
quick presentation. This is Minister Trevor Holder, Minister Jeff Carr. Hi.
Welcome.
Did anybody get that? Oh, nice to meet you.
Hi, my name is Arena. I'm from Ukraine and I was now in July 2017. For me, the most nerve-wracking thing was to integrate into the community. In such small cities as Evanston, local people start to form their connections from the time they're in kindergarten. And by the time they're young adults, they already have their trustworthy, time-tested communities formed. So even though local people seem to be predisposed, yet not ready to involve new people to the community, especially ones who have their life views formed overseas. I wanted to break the patterns and I ran for the student council president in my school.
Here, here.
And basically I wanted to show that even though we come from different parts of the world, our aim is to contribute to the place where we want to live in. So in the end of the day, I received a bunch of negative comments like, you're not going to be able to make a change because you're not from here. So a lot of newcomers have to hunt for new communities. And most of us here, we didn't have the community connections before joining Imagine. So Imagine NB gave us an opportunity to such an experience and also gave us encouragement and support. Thank you very much.
Just a question. Did you win? Try again.
Next time.
Took me 4 times to win.
Well, for me, it's a bit of a biography of Mr. Blaine Higgs, the Honorable Blaine Higgs. So first of all, I would like to thank all of my Imagine NB delegates for sharing these inspiring stories. I am truly proud of their development in the program, as I am for all of the other delegates. I believe in you all. My name is Abdelatif Gerouj. I am currently a senior student at Mathieu-Martin High School in Dieppe. I'm originally from the beautiful country of Algeria, which is over abroad the Atlantic Sea. And I'm currently, as you probably all guessed, I'm currently a proud Imagine NB delegate. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our very special guest, the Honorable Blaine Higgs, Premier of New Brunswick. Born March 1st, 1954 in Woodstock, which is actually where Nitsi is currently living, he grew up in Forest City, which is a city located near the New Brunswick border, where he lived with his family. He obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering from the University of New Brunswick in 1977. Shortly after, he began working for Irving Oil in St. John, where his leadership skills, his entrepreneurial skills, led him to gain increasingly senior roles. In 2010, as Mr. Higgs gained interest in politics, he was elected or nominated to be a candidate for the Progressive Conservative Party in the riding of Quispamsis. And thanks to the party's win that year, he was actually appointed as Minister of Finance by former leader David Alward. In 2014, he was re-elected in the riding of Quispamsis and actually won the votes to become the leader of the Progressive Conservative Party. In 2018, as most of you guys know, Mr. Blaine Higgs was sworn in as Premier of New Brunswick and won the confidence vote on November 30th, assuring his role. As Premier, Mr. Higgs works hard at resolving issues in the New Brunswick in order to make the province better, issues such as the employment rate deficit. On his free time, he enjoys spending time with his family, with his wife, his 4 daughters, pursuing outdoor activities such as swimming, fishing, and boating. That I would like to welcome the Honorable Premier Blaine Higgs And that is on our behalf, on my behalf, on the behalf of the Imagine NB delegates, and of course on behalf of the New Brunswick Multicultural Council. And without further ado, please welcome Mr. Blaney.
He memorized Jamala. Wow.
Yeah, wow. We must have a role for your Where's the monitor? But the last thing I'm going to do now is pull out my notes. So, thank you very much for that very, very kind introduction. And bonjour, mes amis. C'est un plaisir pour moi d'être ici avec vous. I had, since he went back into my history a bit, so I've been around for a little while. But you know, listening to your stories about what you're finding as challenges, I think there's one fundamental thing that I want to override this conversation with, and it's about we need you. So you know, you may have found a home here because you were looking for a home, but we need you, and we need your friends. We need your any folks that are looking to be a contributor to our province, like you are. Imagine NB, this is very impressive to see the group that's assembled here today. But as we go through the challenges we're facing as a province, we want innovation, we want new ideas, we want new thoughts and processes from all around the world to help us, our province, be better. And I can appreciate the difficulty in the integration into a community, and I can imagine it must be difficult. But what I think would have to happen in that regard is we have to find ways for families to come to communities. So then you come in and you have more families that you're more familiar with, and you don't feel like you're alone, and you feel like you're absolutely part of the community, but you're rebuilding the community. And I know many companies are doing that today. They're actually looking for families because then you build that relationship. And you know, here in New Brunswick, we're very proud to say that you can look us right in the eye because we are equal. Men and women are equal in this province, and they will remain to be so because we're proud of that fact. And we will look at ideas equally because that is how we're going to move forward together. In the areas of language and the barriers that you mentioned, you know, for me, being able and working to improve and be able to speak French. So here in New Brunswick, a bilingual province for many, many years, 50 years, we're still in many ways in our ancient English programs trying to learn both official languages. And so we're struggling too with that. So but we need to be helpful in that regard. I've spoken to companies and have had immigrants working for them, and they're saying they're having trouble passing the English exam to become a citizen or passing the French exam. And you know, we have to find a way to make the exams more relevant to what we're doing every day. Because I would guess the exam is things that you say, well, why is it only done? Because we want to be able to communicate. So to the leaders today that are working in Imagine INB, it must be inspiring, and because from what I see right here, it's inspiring to us. And I thank my colleagues for joining me here today because what we're about, and we're elected to help people, and today we want to help people integrate into our society, be part of our province as we move forward, because together we can build. And so I want you to keep my first comment in mind. We need you here. So sometimes you think that you took someone who knows that they know they felt like they didn't belong. Well, you belong, and we want to ensure that you not only feel that way, but you feel like a contributor. And yes, to Dominic's point, yeah, he ran a few times, so don't give up on it. Don't give up and running again. Yes, don't give up running again, because it's. I go back to my days in high school, and I ran for student council, and I did win, but my wife didn't support me. She wasn't my wife. I intended to marry her, but maybe she didn't know that at the time, but she didn't vote me, which I always regret. And we've been married over 40 years now, so we're doing okay. But thanks again for the opportunity to speak to you, and also within the departments, certainly with Mr. Holder and the fellow who's the deputy here as well, Sadie Brown. As we look to find new people and we look to bring people in, what are the barriers that are making it difficult for you to enter into our program? And what makes sense and what doesn't? And we need to hear that right from the front lines, like here today and all of you, and the experiences that you've had directly. Because that's what's going to make it special, but that's what's going to make it work.
So we encourage this communication in real terms. And I always say, I'm an engineer, so I'm always thinking about priorities and charts and who's responsible and when's it going to get done. And so when you have key issues that you say, look, if only the government would listen to this, then we have a situation that we want to correct. We like to consider ourselves as a rapid response government that is going to respond to the real needs of people. And you are all our people, and we're so proud to have you. Thank you so much.